So there are several, I'm recording, Joe, several ways to fly, I think, with spheres. And I have been practicing making spheres. And this is going to become like about a ping pong ball's worth of sphere. And not perfectly round or anything, just because it was my first one and I wasn't particularly interested in its beauty. Yeah, I was looking at its the process of making it. So what we want is something more or less like my little apple here. And the apple has a place that's, dished out. Okay, so if I came down with like a reverse of that shape there, like a mushroom cap or a reverse the outside of a bell, right? And that's what it is. You got sort of a bell curve there with about a 45-degree angle, I think, which is good because I can then adjust the air pressure coming out of a small hole with a little screw device that would go up and back. And I could maybe fluctuate it or move it around to make it blow over this side or over that side or whatever, you understand? So that I can get some directionality. I'm not just going, because what happens is when I start blowing air out of my sphere, it blows across this curve and follows the curve downwards, okay, and becomes a thrust, pushing my little sphere up all the way around, all the way around. Now, this one would probably go upside down as soon as I got up off of the ground because it's heavier on this side. And so we probably don't want to make it exactly like that. Or maybe we can put something heavy on the bottom that would float, for instance. Or bounce if you, if you were hitting the ground really hard or something, like another ball or, something. Something. So, but that's all you need. You just need to blow some air out of the top with this little woodsy device of mine to blow the air along the curve of the sphere. And, they dimple golf balls because the air actually travels better over dimples than it does over flat surfaces. So the other thing I could do here is introduce some weights or something that will balance this so that and put a gyroscope in there, right? So that I obtain level flight all the time. And then I can just move forward, backward, side to side by tipping the thing slightly, just slightly, and not the whole thing. The little device that blows the air, that separates the air as it's coming out, gives you a bias towards one side or the other, to make it move in the opposite direction. Very easy, very simple switches to build. I've got a liquid metal that I can use. Gallium, right? That's what this is, gallium. And it conducts electricity like billy-o, and so you can put it in a little switch that goes in with the gravity of the craft. Would be tied to the inertial stability for pitch and yaw and all of that. So that when it goes over that way, it makes it over this way, and vice versa. You see what I mean? Just whichever way it rolls, it makes contact with the wires coming through, and that's easy to build. Man, I can build that. I can build it really, really small too. My machine shops for building things really, really small, like jewelry. So we're gonna make a flying sphere. Ordinarily, I would think, when the power shuts off, that thing's gonna fall. There's nothing holding. There's no glide slope, nothing, right? Except that making it out of AUPT paper. My AUPT paper. As hard as copper at the moment, and I'm hoping as hard as stainless steel when I'm done. And AUPT disseminated through the paper, and it created a checkerboard pattern across the paper. And the poppy seeds I put in there to make they're used poppy seeds, right? So it's just the husks for a hardening agent. And they ended up in the interstitial sites in a very regular and orderly pattern. And you can see it kind of through the silk. and so I have crystalline paper held together with a double covalent bond. I think that has got to be a step in the right direction, because this thing weighs 12 grams, 11.7 or something. A similar sized piece of AUPT would be about 35 grams for something about this size, about 3.5 centimeters. And that's about from here to here, the radius. And that's about what you'd get. But this is going to be even harder as I go along this stuff. Before I make it hard, it's just paper. So I can take a milling machine that does laser etching I can etch a cut through the middle. I can etch a door and windows from the inside so that when I pressurize the cabinet, it blows the windows up against the frames. Because I think I can send this into low Earth orbit. We're going to put a cat on the moon in 2021. StarFire is going to the stars for under $500.